Welcome to the Las Vegasville podcast, brought to you by Jump Studios, where we cover topics related to everything happening around Sin City, including the social media scene, food, and a whole lot more, with some of the best, most popular accounts around the city, and talk about their success in Vegas and beyond. I'm your host, Philip Zhang, aka Las Vegas Phil. Check me out on IG or TikTok, and feel free to text or leave me a voicemail at 702-551-4445. On with the show. Welcome to this week's show. So great having Heather DeSalle, better known as Vegas Know-It-All from TikTok, on the show this week. Lots of people have mentioned her in past episodes like Starfish, Brandon, Chicas, more as one of the first big accounts that they met in social, and a really great person bridging relationships for a bunch of people in the Vegas social media community. Heather's first post ever was back in November 2020, and just like everyone else at the time, I was wondering, who the heck is this? What is this crazy, unique voice coming out of the speakers of my phone, dropping knowledge and great opinions of Vegas? I love her great takes on all the places she goes to, and they're also really funny as hell. Y'all, Heather is in the house, sporting over 261K on TikTok. Let's welcome Vegas Know-It-All to the show.
Yay!
It's the only time I can say y'all.
Right. Somebody said on one of my posts, just a random follower, was like, "You need that on the shirt, but y'all." And I was like, I really do, but y'all. Yeah, Anyway,
I love it.
That's so funny.
How have you been?
I've been good.
It's been a while since we saw each other.
It has, yeah.
I'm trying to think of the last time.
I have no clue.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
I'm glad you didn't get abducted by aliens.
Yes.
We had chatted the night before just to confirm that she was coming here, and she was going on a UFO watch and night vision goggle tour.
It was freaking amazing. What am I supposed to look at? Am I supposed to look at you? Am I supposed to look at
cameras?
cameras?
At me. This will be your camera over here. If you want to look directly in, if you want to campaign something.
Is this not a good angle? All right. Am I showing enough cleavage? I should more or less?
I think you need to show more.
What do the people want, Phil?
I think they want more.
You're so silly.
Yeah.
So Phil reached out to me and said, are you coming? And I was on my way there, so I just sent screenshots. And then my audio messages, because I only do audio messages. And I'm like, I'll be there if I don't get abducted by aliens. And this was actually something I've been wanting to do for 3 years now. I saw it 3 years ago when I had started my business. She advertises on Airbnb experiences, and that's where I was going to advertise. And I saw it on there, and I was like, what the hell is this? And at the time, she only had like 5 reviews, but they were all good. Fast forward, a few years later, me and a friend have been talking about it, and I keep saying, yeah, we'll do it at some point. Well, now aliens are trending. That's the thing,
so hot
right?
Now.
They're here in Vegas in the backyards and shit. So I got off of work early yesterday, and I was looking for something to do, and then it hit me. I was like, I should see if that alien thing is going on a Tuesday, and it was. And forgetting about the nights, so I could only find one person to go with me because everybody else is like, nah, I'm going to the night.
Right.
I'm like, oh damn. But I had already paid for mine, and yeah, I went. She's an interesting lady. And she picks you up, and she's tells you about her alien experiences, and then we go off into the mountains, and you can't see like the light filter anymore. It blocks out not all the Vegas lights, but then you get night goggles. They're like telescopic night goggles. Y'all, I saw fucking aliens. Like when you look up, I don't know if they were alien. Well, I say aliens, I meant UFOs.
Things.
UFOs, yeah. Now, I know a lot of them is going to be satellites, right? Like the Skylink, Elon Musk thing. But you wouldn't believe how much stuff is flying around. I'm talking about it's so much shit flying around up there, just nonstop. And you can see this with the night goggles. When you look up, all you can see was Venus and like 2 more stars. But with these goggles on, you saw so much shit.
Where did you guys go? Mount Charleston?
No, Blue Diamond. So down Blue Diamond.
Okay.
Like you're going to Pahrump is the direction we went. And then, of course, it's before Pahrump. But, yeah. I want to invest now in some night goggles. She said they're like $4,500. I'm like, But it was a cool experience. I'm going to make a video about it. I highly recommend it.
So what were her stories?
Oh, fuck. They were weird.
She's been abducted?
Yeah, not abducted, but she had her first experience when she was 3 years old. And then she had more experiences. And, I believe in all that shit. Me personally, I believe it all. And so I'm not, judging. But, yeah, she has some stories. They're interesting. Yeah.
And it's been going on for 3 years, so obviously...
Yeah. Oh, now she has a whole bunch of reviews, and they're all great. Like, she's really gone up and up and up. I was like, have you got an uptick lately? She was like, no, not really, but we'll see.
We'll see. Maybe after this.
UFO
watch and night vision goggle tour.
Yeah.
And that's available on...
Airbnb experiences, of all things. $99.
Nice. So have you ever had an alien interaction, or have you ever seen a UFO? besides yesterday.
Yeah, right. No, I don't know.
But yeah, they got to be out there.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Right.
There's no way we're the only things out here. No way. She believes we're so another thing that comes with it, she believes we're descendants of aliens. Like that's really where we come from, not the whole whatever Jesus and all that type of stuff, but like aliens, it's the bigger picture, and that there's different races of aliens. And so part of her thing, which she says is a $50 value, is she has this little rock and it like swings and it's got all the races of the aliens that are out there, and you're supposed to just think, just like think to yourself. And then it tells you what races, and I'm a mix of like 4 races.
Like a Ouija board?
And not really like a Ouija board, but yeah, something similar. And then the rock just starts to go in the area of what you are, yeah. But ironically, one of them that it said I was is it has something to do with, is it Slytherin? Not Slytherins, that's Harry Potter shit.
Harry Potter, but Harry Potter, aliens, same shit.
Right. Right. But it was something to do with water stuff. And I tell people all the time, I'm like, in a past life, I was a water creature at some point, like for real. Like my thing with water is serious. And so evidently one of these races of aliens are real big with water, like they come from, and they can breathe underwater. And when I was a child, I used to have dreams all the time that I could breathe underwater, and they were so real that I would practice in the bathtub because I knew that at some point I was going to get to where I could breathe underwater. I'm telling you, this shit was wild. I'm a believer. You should do it.
All right. I'm definitely
I don't even smoke or drink or anything. Like no shrooms, no nothing. I was out there sober.
Yeah. I'd be down to check that. There's a couple friends I think that would be really into that.
Yeah.
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 So let's talk about some beginnings here. You grew up in...
Well, all over. I claim Louisiana as home. That's just where I feel the most comfortable. But I mostly went from Panama City Beach, Florida, to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, all my life, back and forth, between my mom and my dad.
Okay. And then you initially moved to Vegas what year?
2018. April 2018.
Okay.
Yeah. On a whim.
On a whim.
Not on a whim. I had some friends that were coming. A bunch of people were coming out here. I had never been to Vegas. I had actually never been further west than Texas, like to visit or anything. And then when I came out here, when I tell you, my mind was blown. I came out here for work, and with work, it was temporary. You could do 6 months anywhere you want to go. After 1 month, I was like, y'all might as well sign my personal transfer, my permanent transfer papers, because I'm never leaving this city. I fell in love with it, and I'll never leave.
Where were you living when you first moved here?
Panama City Beach. Oh, no, when I first moved,
Vegas.
In a freaking efficiency. So I worked at Grand Desert.
I remember
Wyndham,
this TikTok.
and I lived right next door to in an efficiency. It's called the Americana. Across from another efficiency thing. I forget the name, Runaway Bay or some shit that was named. Over by where the Virgin Hotel is.
Yep.
It used to be Hard Rock then. So I was at the Americana, and it was just a little 1-bedroom efficiency, and everything was included. And the thing was, I didn't know Vegas, and I was like, I don't want to get locked into a lease somewhere and not know. So this is temporary. I just walk right here to work. I'll figure it out, right? Month to month, I paid. And I ended up loving it so much, and I was never home. I worked so much, and then, Jesus Christ, I started exploring Vegas. And that's why, I went out and did something. I'm a doer. I do stuff. So I went out and did something every single night, and then I ended up staying in that efficiency for 9 months. That 9 months flew by. And by that time, I was like, well, let me buy a place now. Because after 9 months, I felt like I knew Vegas pretty well. And so, yeah, that's what I did.
So what did you love most when you first arrived?
Just the fact that you could live here for the rest of your life and do something different every fucking day for the rest of your life. And I've always lived in touristy cities. So even in Baton Rouge, it's only an hour from New Orleans. So I most of the time spent in New Orleans, Panama City Beach, and then just anywhere else in Florida. It's all touristy. And I like that because, as I told you, I spend my money on experiences and doing stuff. I don't spend my money on things. And so I start to get bored, and eventually you got to do stuff over again. A couple of years have gone by, I guess I'll go do that again. Vegas, you really just don't have that problem, and it's such a variety. And the fact that different things are constantly coming here, concerts and shows, and it's changing, it's just the perfect home base. And then you can, are you taking pictures of me?
Yeah, he does a little behind the scenes.
Oh, okay. This is so wild,
Shout
y'all.
out to Jay the Ruler.
Right, Jay the Ruler over here. What was I saying? Oh, and the airport. When I moved here from Panama City, that's where I was at the time, and it's one of those bullshit-ass municipal airports where to go anywhere, you have to fly you got to go to Orlando south to then come north, and it's expensive as hell. So when I came here and experienced this airport, I'm like, this is where I want to be.
The greatest, most convenient.
Right.
airport ever.
It's so quick. And for international, and obviously as I get older and like straight up retire, I just want to travel the world. So this will just be my home little base, and I'll just be flying nonstop out of good old Harry Reid.
Harry K. Reid Airport.
Whatever it is.
It still feels weird to say. I think I might call it McCarran for the rest of my life. So you moved here. Your line of work was timeshare.
Yeah.
That's something that we have.
Yeah.
I worked in timeshare for 12 years in Vegas.
Right.
As an OPC, pretty much. You were in sales primarily.
Yeah.
And so, what was it like the timeshare scene in Florida, in Southeast U.S. compared to Vegas?
Oh my God, night and day. So I had never done timeshare. I didn't even know what it was. I was recruited into it, went into it, never really did sales before, learned about timeshare. I'm like, this shit is great. When I was in training, I'm like, what the fuck? Why doesn't everybody own this? I'm like, this is the most amazing thing. And then I started in-house sales, and then I started meeting owners, and then I'm deep diving into how the product works. And then I learned about, maintenance fees and, little other fees and just all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, now I see why everybody in the world doesn't own it. But that doesn't mean there's not a market for it, because the people that do own it, they love that shit. True. I tell people all the time, like, you don't have to own a Porsche to get from A to B. You can own a Honda. But if a Porsche is your thing, it's way more expensive. The maintenance is going to be more expensive. So what? It's whatever. Travel's the same way. Timeshare's the same way. You could do it much cheaper on your own other ways, but if you want that nice stays, you want to be with other people that are like you, like the Porsche Club, these people in timeshare, they think they're a little club and they love it. So, I'm like, okay. So I did it there, and in Panama City Beach, we were like the only timeshare. Our clientele was good old boys from like Georgia and Alabama. They're just coming down to the beach. Our resort actually used to be condos that were whole ownership, and it got converted into a resort. So when you open the door, it's a straight shot to see in that emerald green water. It was amazing. So the unit itself would just sell itself. And so everybody loved it. And then it was an easy sale. And there were people that just wanted to come back there. They didn't know about timeshare either. So their walls weren't up, and all that. And we made a killing. I made a killing doing that. I freaking loved it. And then our VP came out here to where supposedly the grass was greener, And while over there, top sellers would make like $500,000 a year. Over here, a top seller would make $1 million a year. Now, and I was nowhere near being a top seller. I'm just saying this is the potential. And so he came out here to Diamond Resorts, and he started trying to recruit all of us. And it ended up being 11 of us. And that's why I kind of wanted to change. My cat had died, and broke up with my boyfriend, all these issues. And I had someone in my house that was able to rent it out for me. And so I'm like, I'll just go out there for 6 months, check out the West Coast, have some fun. That's how it happened. And while I fell in love with Vegas, I fell out of love with the timeshare, because here, holy fuck. First of all, you're just a number. These people do not even know your name. You're as a sales rep, you're coming in and out, you sink or swim. There's no like collabing with anybody. It's like you were not sharing, our commissions. The way it was in Panama City, I would front end pretty much every deal, whether it was mine or somebody else's, and then we would split all commissions. Over here, it's none of that. Also, the clients, it's a game to them. They come in wanting to take these tours just to get the free gifts, and I don't blame them, but, it's a much harder sell, basically. So everything about it sucked. But, I still did it for a little while, and until the pandemic came along, and then everything changed from there.
So what did you do when everything shut down?
So I had kind of screwed myself. I had actually, because another thing with Wyndham, now I love the company, again, working with them, they're the greatest. With Wyndham, you can come back every 90 days. So I had actually stacked up enough money that 2020, I was going to do nothing but travel the world. I'm like, I'm just going to take off for a whole year and travel the world. I quit February 12th of 2020.
Wow.
And I hadn't heard all the little stuff, about people were like, oh, you didn't hear about the rumblings in December? I'm like, fuck, I guess not. But suddenly in March is when it all went to hell. Everybody got laid off. All my colleagues are getting unemployment. And I'm sitting there like, what the fuck? Like, I'm not getting unemployment and I'm not doing any traveling now. So, and I had ended up buying a little 1-bedroom condo because, again, it was just my crash pad and I was never home. So now here I am stuck with just spending my vacation money in my little 1-bedroom with my cat, Steve. Yeah, that's what happened.
Unreal.
It really was. But it ended up being a blessing because, we'll get into all, that's how TikTok came about.
Totally. So your first post was later, or the first published post was later in that year.
Yeah.
But were you...
No, so I had a little bit more before that. So I hate social media. So that's a fun fact.
This is also a very interesting thing.
I hate
Tell me
social
why.
media.
Tell me why.
First of all, I feel like it's fake. I feel like it takes you away from the things that matter in life. You know, people get just stuck on the phone. I mean, look at these people, whatever. They're on their phones. He's on his phone over there. You know what I'm saying? He's probably scrolling on social media. It's like, it just takes you away from things. And I just don't believe in like connections with strangers. You know, I feel like networking and some connections are good if it's leading to other stuff, but just having to feel valued by strangers and all that, which a lot of what social media is, it also pushes narratives of like how you should look and how you should act and just a bunch of unhealthy ass shit, you know? I feel like it's just toxic. And that's not to say 100% of it, because it has its place. But overall, that's one of the reasons I hated it. It's just drama and toxic. And then yeah, super fake. So I just never been a fan of it. I had a Facebook that was only for my personal friends, people I knew in real life. It's private. I don't want strangers seeing me. It's private with 300 people I know in my real life, just so I could keep them up with what's going on, you know, as a form of communication. But that's it. And then I had a girlfriend, my best friend, Susie. She was on TikTok, and she was doing the stupid little trends or whatever. And if you're not on it, you don't understand this shit, right? Plus, she's 10 years younger than me. But she wanted to do trends during the pandemic. We're out and about, and the trend at the time was this one where it's like, rawr, and then you laugh. No, you're laughing. It's like, hee, 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 rawr, like that, right? And she had me take her to this place where this dinosaur statue was, and she had me recording her doing this. She kept making me doing it. And I'm like, Susie, I don't understand this. This is so stupid. And she kept saying, she's like, download TikTok, and then you'll get it. And plus, you can support me. You can like my videos. And I'm like, God damn it. And I was so bored. And only because I was in the house bored, you know? I downloaded it. And then I saw the trend, and I saw how everybody was doing their version of this audio, you know, is what it was basically. And I'm like, okay. And then I started appreciating some people's efforts more than others. And it got a little bit addictive. You know, you're judging how they're doing this. And then I fell into where the TikTok algorithm knows what you like. So next thing you know, I'm seeing cooking videos. I love to cook. So and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, the whole recipe in 1 minute, like less than a minute at the time, with some little jazzy music. And I see the whole thing. And it was made for me because I don't have the patience for like long drawn out shit.
No one does anymore.
Right. So I love that. And then just some other like funny stuff, cat videos and shit, you know, the stuff that was mine. And then, so that's how it started. So I watched that a little while. And then eventually I was like, well, I want to make some videos. And so I started actually making cooking videos. Nobody ever saw that one. It was my own name. It was just Heather. And then I did cooking videos, and they were just so fucking ghetto and ridiculous. I mean, I'm holding the camera at one hand. I'm trying to talk. It's blurry. It's the most ridiculous thing.
So it's cooker's POV. You're trying to chop.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay,
it's shaky. It's horrible.
Face to face.
Yeah, no face. I never showed my face.
Right.
And so then, but after like, well, I don't know, 12 recipes, I was done. I was like, that's my best shit. You know, what do I do now, right?
Right.
I want more stuff. And so I'm like, this ain't gonna work. And then I ended up running into somebody's live, Greg.Las which was a realtor, in his live. And we started talking, and he just shows off Vegas stuff. And of course, he's a realtor. And I don't know, we start talking. He's like, well, you should do this. I was starting a business at the same time, my tour guide business. And he's like, you should do this for your business. Because we talked about how, I say know-it-all. This is just a catchy name. I want to talk about that too, to clear the air that I don't know shit, people. But at the time, that was the name of my business. And so he was like, you should, you know, since you do so much stuff, you should just show all the stuff you do. Because I was living the life, basically. And then I did. And then I changed the name to match my business name and took off the cooking videos to not confuse people. And from then on, it was just me showing my experiences. It's like my diary, basically. I just kind of record everything I do.
I remember the second post you have is with Greg's in it.
Oh, okay.
I forgot which one.
Right.
But yeah. So was he the first person you met in social?
He was the first person that I met. Me, him, and then other people that came to the live, Holly.Las Vegas and Steve. It was Steven, but it's STE.Las Vegas. They were a couple. And well, they're married now, but at that time, like, he was in London, she was here, they kind of met up. But we became friends in this live. Like, and I'm not even that type of person. I don't go into people's lives. I never go into people's lives. It was just for some reason I got sucked into this live. Then we just built a little friendship of locals, you know. Again, pandemic, we're all bored as shit. And then we just didn't care. It was so funny because me and Greg were like going out and meeting up and whatever, and we never got sick. Everybody else was getting sick. We're those people hated us, you know. It was like, you should stay home. And we're out doing stuff. And we figured by the end of it, we were probably the carriers giving it to everybody, but had like no symptoms. Who knows, really? But that's how that started.
And you were going live a lot, I remember.
No, I never went live. No,
Really?
I'd never go.
I'm pretty sure I've seen
No.
some of your lives. You got back from an event.
Yeah, so I go
were
live
chatting.
here and there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm horrible at it. I'm not good at it. I can't read and comment and pay attention and watch where I'm walking. I can't do any of that. Like, I'm horrible at live. So few and far between I go live when I'm just super bored, and I have to just think about it. I have to think about, I should go live, and I just don't.
Right.
No, I'm more of like the behind the scenes hype man person, whatever. Yeah.
So before we keep going, we got to talk about The Voice. I mean, there's no one else that sounds like you on the planet. I remember, like everyone else watching on TikTok at the time, and you could totally see that you were onto something. Just the way you present it, and honestly, it was just a matter of time before you blew up. I really felt like The Voice was just a mystery, and then you did the face-to-face intro in January of 2021. You mentioned that there were so many comments at the time thinking you were a country gay black dude. Your words, not mine.
Yes.
And but I would read through the comments like, who is this? People would say Ralphie May.
Yes, Ralphie May. Bless his heart, rest in peace.
And it was so when you did the reveal, it was like, whoa.
Right. Yeah. I know. Even sometimes when I happen to go live, people are just like, this is your real voice, I went on a date one time and a fucking dude asked me, he's like, so who does your voiceovers? I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, who is that? And I'm like, it's me. Like, what the fuck? But anyway. But yeah, I get that because, so the thing is, and I could tell in the comments, because I never showed myself, and I could tell in comments people saying things like, dude, this, or, they would make references that let me know that they thought I was a dude. So I'm just like, I never corrected anybody. It's like, whatever, I don't care. And I got a lot of negative comments about my voice. People are like, why the fuck do you sound like that? Like, Ralphie May was a compliment compared to some of them. Shit, I remember getting Big Bird, and I went to Google, like, what the hell does, I didn't even know Big Bird talked, and what does he sound like? Right. I'm like, what the fuck?
Big Bird is very charming.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, it was very negative. People told me, to quit what I was doing. And again, there was no strategy because I didn't know social media. I knew nothing of the scene, the game. Like, I was so green to this shit. All I knew is this is what I'm doing. I'm just sharing with you people that might be interested, right? And even if you aren't interested, it's really just my own personal diary. It was just for me. And so I realized, they thought I was a dude. And then people kept wanting to reveal and this and that. And then finally I'm like, you know what? Let me share myself. And I was picking up a lot of black followers too. So I was like, they probably think I'm black too. And I say that also because there was a stint when I worked in a call center. And I had to take I was a supervisor, so I had to take a lot of escalations. And when I would take these people, they'd be angry-ass people. And when they get mad at me, they would call me racial slurs. First of all, I would always get called a guy too. I still do. On the phone and drive-thrus, I'm called sir constantly. I pull up to the window and they're like, oh, I'm so sorry, ma'am. I'm like, it's okay. I'm used to it. But anyway, and then in this call center, they would call me racial slurs. And I'm like, the fuck? Like, I grew up, in the hood, okay? It's just, I grew up in the hood in the South. So it's like, it just is the way I sound. But anyway, and then somebody one time told me that when we were talking about me sound like a dude, they're like, it's not you really sound like a dude. You kind of do, but there's something there that's kind of feminine. So you sound like a gay dude. Somebody added me. So, and then of course everybody says I'm country. So that's how I finally added. When I first showed myself, I was like, hey, surprise, I'm not a country gay black dude. And yeah, everybody was like, what the fuck?
It was the best. Blew my mind. And then I knew I had to meet you somewhere around that time. We met initially at Marrakesh. With Brandon, I Have the Tummy in February 2021. And I was just so interested in meeting and knowing what you were about.
That is so wild because I was just amazed at meeting you. Like, that was like the I've arrived type of moment, Right. Once I got in it, and then I started seeing other people because like Vegas TikTokers weren't even on my thing. I wasn't seeing that. So I didn't really know that so many existed. Talls was the very first one that I ever saw. And I was like, oh shit, and I was already doing it too. And I was like, I like this. I like, her, whatever. So she's the first TikToker, if I go down and look, that I followed that was Vegas. And then as I started seeing the other people, where was I going with this? Hold on, what'd you say?
Marrakesh.
Oh, yeah. So then I realized there was a whole scene of people. And then, of course, I started realizing they're going and doing their thing. And, I'm smart. Like, I'm putting shit together. I was like, oh, okay, this is like a thing. Like, I see how this is working, right? And I was like, how do I get into that? I didn't really know. And just really kind of started following everybody and engaging. Because, again, I'm a hype person. So I'm engaging and shit. And the first person that invited me out was Amir Hangry, to Cup Bop. like some bullshit ass place, right? Cup Bop, right? What is that, $5?
A whole Korean meal in a cup.
Right. Nothing against Cup Bop. It was actually decent. It was good. I don't know. It was good back then. I mean, now I've had a lot of fucking Korean food since then, but that was my first one. And it was free. And I was like, what the fuck? I'm getting something free, right? I didn't know that's the way it really worked. And I met them, and that was the first thing. And then after that, and me and Brandon, at the time we had became friends, also just through social things, you know. And then, when you invited me to that, and Brandon was a huge fan too, and so I hit him up to be my +1, and I'm like, dude, you're not going to believe this shit. I'm like, Las Vegas Phil has invited me to Marrakesh, and I'm like, and he was all giddy. We were so giddy.
Really?
It was so wild and crazy. So to think that, like, you wanted to meet me and him, that's so wild.
Hell yeah. I mean, when I had more time, and still now, if an account interests me, I just want to meet them. That's
right.
Kind of how it is. And, you know, I mentioned before, it was kind of a matter of time before your account went off, and it went off 2 months later with the Omega Mart.
Oh, yeah.
Right? 10 million plus.
Jesus Christ.
And then you really solidified yourself to a lot of people as an authority on Vegas, you know, because a bunch of posts just started going off.
Right. And I'm not. Like, that's the thing. I'm not an authority at all. I just go out and explore Vegas. That's all I do. I just go out and explore it. It's all an experiment. And I just tell you, like, this is what I did. This is what it was like, and I liked it or I didn't type of thing. That's, like, all it was. So people have said something about, like I said, the Vegas Know-It-All name. But when I created my business, my actual tour guide business, which was all that mattered to me, really, in this, you know, that's where I was making my money, was with the tour guide business. And I was just going to use TikTok to hopefully gain some clients for that was the plan. And, of course, that worked times 10. I stayed booked up 2 months in advance. It was unreal. But that time, I was like, oh, what's a good name? What's something short? Because I was thinking of my domain. Like whatever, blah, 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 .com. That's all I was thinking about. And I was like, something came in my mind about Vegas Know-It-All or a variation of that. And I'm like, no, nobody really likes to know it all. But at the same time, it's going to make them look. They're going to be like, who is this bitch that thinks she knows it all or something? But then also, it'll make them look. And then at the same time, if they're coming here, well, you want somebody that knows it all. Even though I don't, I'm lying. But you want somebody that you think knows it all. So it was a great name for my business. And then when I put it in social media, again, I wasn't thinking anything about it, not thinking it would bother people, but I mean, evidently, I think it bothers
Everything
people.
bothers.
Yeah, especially people that, you know, born and raised here, they're just like, what do you mean? You come here and you've been here, whatever, 3 years and you think you know it all. I really don't. And when I would get clients and they'd get in my car, I would just wait for them to ask the first question. And as soon as they asked the first question, I would be like, oh, I don't know that. By the way, I don't know shit. It was just a catchy name. That's what I would tell. And then they start laughing, and then I was out of having to answer any more questions pretty much. And it really was just spending time with me and my personality. Like, it's just me escorting you around and laughing and, you know, having a good time. But I didn't know any knowledge about the history of this city or, you know, anything. Yeah.
The tour business is quite interesting because it's rare, especially once your TikTok started taking off. It's really rare to be able to have that much access to your favorite TikToker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you.
Right.
So they would see the TikTok and all your business came from that, right?
Yeah, all of it. Originally, I was going to advertise on Airbnb experiences and never did that because, And then I didn't even want people. They were like, oh, I'll spread the word. And I was like, no, please don't. Like, I got way more than I can handle. And I didn't want to hire on anybody because then business license, transportation permits, all that becomes way more of a headache. So I had to keep it as like a one-man show. And, it was way more than I could handle. And the problem is, I'm so nice, Phil. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Do you know when I started this shit? It was like $40.
The rate,
I would take
the rate
you
was unbelievable.
to go to like the Red Rock or Hoover Dam for like $40. And then
$40 per person?
No, I think the
$40
whole
for the trip?
Yeah, the whole trip. I never did. I never did like per person. I was like, no, the car is going there no matter how many people are in the car. Like in my mindset, I was just wanting to do what was right by the person, right? I wasn't trying to get rich. I just wanted people to come here and explore Vegas on another level on a good budget, you know? And so, I started that. And then I realized, it was overwhelming. I realized I was underpriced. So then I would like raise it by $10 and this and that. And eventually, I don't remember what I got. I want to say like to 160 or something. And even then it was too low, you know, and people, because they would tip me. Now that's the one thing, at least at the end, like we'd get into conversations and they would know I was underpriced and they would have a great time and they would tip me exceptionally well at the end. So, you know, that's how that went.
And then there were people that didn't even want you to drive them anywhere. They just
Right,
wanted to
right.
hang out with
Yeah,
you,
yeah, oh, yeah,
which
yeah.
is a whole other thing.
Right. So I started that. That was something new I had added. It was literally just by the hour. So that's the way I did that. I was like, here's an hourly rate. I'll pick you up and we'll just do whatever. And it was just people that wanted to hang out with me. And that got a little weird.
Fuck yeah. I can't even imagine.
I had a couple of people that I had one in particular. I don't want to talk too much about them because they may watch this or whatever. But I had one that was really booked me to spend time with me, not in any kind of inappropriate way, but just was a super fan. And I was like, what the fuck? I'm such a normal person. Like, it was the weirdest thing. And they're also super fans of like other people on social media and reality TV stars and shit like that. So it's just like I was just one of those in their eyes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So when did it become too much? When did you say, I'm done with this?
So last year it became too much. I took on too much. I say yes all the time between just the social media stuff that, getting involved with and everybody and doing things in the restaurant, everything. And then my business. And I got tired of it. I mean, I don't know how many times I saw the fucking Hoover Dam, and I
can imagine driving back and forth.
Right, and even though every experience was different, because the people would be different conversations, but it just still would get old. And in the summertime, it was super hot, and so I don't know. I just was like, I'm tired of this. And we had talked a little bit before we started recording. I'm an every 2-year person. Every 2 years, I get bored of whatever. And that's everything in my life. Jobs, cities, relationships, whatever. After 2 years, I'm like, I'm kind of bored with this, and I move on to something. So I was at my 2-year limit with that, pretty much, was over it. Plus, I needed insurance and stuff like that. Like, I like the flexibility and freedom of being your own boss and doing your own thing and making your own schedule. But honestly, I feel like I worked harder than, not more harder, that's not a word, but whatever. I worked harder than, and I was stressed more during that year than having a normal job. And then, and my health was taking a toll. I needed health insurance. I missed the cushy shit of like a 401k, all this stuff. And I was just like, I'm over it.
But I understand the hours.
Yeah.
It's so normal for so many of us now, but if you really add it all up, if you're taking all the tours, you got to turn out all this content, you got to answer all the business questions.
Right, yeah.
And
I was doing all that,
else
right.
To do it. I mean, it must have been, super overwhelming.
Right, yeah.
Would you ever do it again, and how would you do it any differently?
No, I wouldn't do it again because I don't want to go through the process of getting it all together. Like now, I've let it all go. So, I couldn't legally, I guess, do it again. But people that I've made relationships and made friends with, like, for example, the people I took to EDC, well, they're my friends now. So they came back for this last EDC, and they're like, Heather, we want you, and I'm like, these are like my babies, I'm like, I got to make sure they get there safe and stuff. So I'm like, so them every year, you know what I'm saying? I'll do some service for them, and if they want to tip me, for these services, then that's fine. But that's it. I'll never go back to it again. Been there, done that.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, I'm sure there's a bunch of exceptions. You've met like hundreds of people through that.
Yeah.
It's got to be crazy. So you got the super fans, but how wild would clients get? Because I remember some of the videos where the guests got too wasted after drinking like...
Oh, the girl at Mimosas Gourmet. That's so funny. Somebody actually sent me a screenshot of that place, and she's like, have you ever been here? One of my friends. I was like, girl, I've been there. It was an experience. She got so fucked up. And what I couldn't put in that video was her throwing up all over the place because I didn't want... She allowed me to post the video, and then they sent me the video of her laying on the floor and said I could use it. But, I mean, I don't want to post a video of her throwing up and shit. But, God, dog, that was an interesting one. Yeah. But that was fine. I love it. It's great stories. It's great times. It's great memories,
Any other wild stories
No.
to share? Maybe you dropped off someone at the green door or
No.
up there.
No, most people are pretty tame, really.
Okay.
Yeah, most of the clientele were just older people. For what I'm doing, they were people that have been here a lot, most of them, and they've done a lot of stuff in Vegas, so they want something different, or they want to go off the strip, because that was my whole thing, really, is taking you off the strip. So that was most of my clientele. Yeah.
Nice. Mm-hmm. What is your process in making videos now?
There's no process. I just record everything I'm doing. I just go somewhere. I just go do whatever I do, and I just simply record everything that I'm doing, pretty much, like seconds at a time. Like I'll just record something, and then I enjoy my time there. Like I want to enjoy the experience. So then I eat or watch. Like I recently did Hamburger Mary's, for example, and I would record bits and pieces, and then I would come back and tip them and watch them and cheer, and then eat food, and then I'd record stuff and whatever, right? By the time I get home, I had like 38 minutes worth of footage is what I had. And it was over 100 videos that I had taken, just little spurts. And then it just depends on how I feel. I have no timeline of nothing. It's just literally how I feel. So if I feel like putting it together, then I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Then I'll maybe do. I usually do waves. So I'll go through and put it all in there, and then I'll shave off some, and I usually get it down to like 10 minutes, and then I'm done for the day. And then the next day I'll go back to it, and then I'll get it shaved down to where at least it fits, under the 3 minutes, and then. Just depends on how I feel. I'll eat some food, I'll hang out, and if I want to go back to it, I go back to it. If I feel like I don't want to be bothered, I don't. And then whenever eventually, at some point, I piece it all together, and then I say my voiceover as I'm watching it. I just watch it in real time. So I just hit
never
play.
script it?
No, I never script it. It's just, and sometimes I have to go back and change something because I don't script it. I'll realize I'll say the same word by accident in multiple little sentences, and then I'm like, God damn it, why'd I say that word over and over, and I'll just go edit that one sentence or something. And then, that's it.
When you say load it up, are you loading up into the TikTok app? Or are you doing InShot?
I use, I have an Android. What's that?
Oh, that's
YouCut.
right. I don't know.
Fuck you, bitch. my Android is amazing. I got the new one. I'm the type, again, I told you I don't spend money on things.
The zoom in lens was quite nice when you were in Hawaii.
Dude, I really don't regret. This phone cost me like $1,400, and I was pissed because, again, I don't like to spend money on things.
Sure.
And I keep the same shit forever. I'll keep the same car till the wheels fall off. I'll keep the phone until it just dies. And that's what happened with the last one. I had the Note 9, and it fell in water. So I got this one.
Oh, man.
And I was going to Hawaii, and I was like, let me just go ahead and get something good. Just fuck it. And it's amazing. But anyway, you iPhone users, y'all are just, we don't really talk shit about y'all like you talk about us, That's the thing.
Only
like
Jay-Z talks shit about you. But yes, I thought about you immediately. Anytime anyone is super pro iPhone, I think of you, and you just calling all of us sheep. That's what I think about every time.
So anyway, so it's YouCut, which is, yes, the
YouCut.
InShot version of whatever y'all use, So I do it all in YouCut, even the voiceover. And then I just send it to TikTok, and then I add the captions that's built in, and then I add the music. That's what I do. So
Sounds
simple.
awesome, yeah.
Yeah, it's so easy and simple. I don't like to get fancy with it. My shit is ghetto for a reason because I'm lazy.
Well, you're also one of the few big accounts that don't carry a light.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I've
right?
been taking a light. I
Oh,
take
you
a
have
light.
been?
Yeah.
Okay,
for
usually
food.
the phone light, but
Yeah. For food, sometimes now I'll take a light.
okay.
Yeah.
So now that you've been at this for 3 years, you've pretty much done it all.
Yeah.
You've seen it all. What's your take on the Vegas social media scene? I mean, I know it's not positive, but
It's not all negative.
okay.
It's just, it's exactly what I thought. When I said I hated social media because of all the reasons, it's fake and toxic and bullshit. It is just that. I'm in it, and I can attest it's all fake, people.
Wow, she
This
looked
is like,
right into the camera.
it's like this is the new version of TV, and you can make it whatever you want to make it, basically. And yeah, things just aren't always as they appear. People aren't as they appear. It's great for being social and being networking and all that, but at the end of the day, I got really involved with a lot of that. Like I did a little social group for a little while. I met so many people on top of, because like you, I want to meet people. If I like their account, I want to meet people. Plus, I'm just a people person. That's why I worked in sales and stuff. Like, I love to meet new people. I love to hear their stories. I like people from all walks of life. It's just talking to people is my way of like learning, right? And I love to learn. So I've met so many people, and then even just not only creators, but followers, and being social and doing all that, and made some great connections. But at the end of the day, after it's all said and done, I come back to the relationships that I had in my real life. I neglected those people during these 2 years that I was involved with social media and with, all the hoopla that goes with it. And wasn't fulfilled and wasn't really happy in that sense, you know what I'm saying, from a friendship basis. And when I went into it, as far as meeting people, all I wanted to do was make friends. I just wanted to have fun and make friends. I didn't give a fuck about money. I didn't even know money was involved. It took me a little while. It was like that moment, you know, We're the Millers, where the guy with the eyebrows, and he's like, wait, you guys are getting paid for this? I literally had that moment. I was like, what the fuck? You know, I had all these little green moments. And so, and I started, but I can count on one hand how many times I've been paid. Like I thought,
Really?
I was like, let me go down this path. Yeah, on less than 5. I don't even know. Less than 4, I would say. I started to go down that path, but then I realized, like, I don't like this. You know, it takes the funness, it takes the everything out of it, you know, and makes it more like a job and business, and again, seems not real and fake. And I'm like, this isn't the way I want to make my money. Nothing wrong with people that's the way it's a business. I get it, right? Nothing wrong with the people that make their money that way. It just wasn't for me. It wasn't for me and my personality. So it stayed the entire time, even as I grew. I just wanted to make friends and have fun. And that's what I kept attempting to do. But yeah, not realizing that I already had that in my regular life before this shit ever came along. So now I'm back to that. And I'll deal with the people and hang out with the people that I really, you know, made some long-term, like Brandon. I have to tell me, you know, it's like I made some real life long-term relationships, Amir, and then Cindy, Las Vegas Food as well. Like, these are people I'll still talk to. I talk to Brandon every day. The other ones I talk to, you know, on a weekly basis type of thing. And we still go out, we still hang out, and I still accept invites and go do stuff. It's just, yeah. I feel like I just kind of went rogue a little bit, you know. And plus I have a job. I'm back to regular work now. So I work Monday through Friday, 10 to 7. And usually I get off later than that. So I don't do anything on the weekend. So just the fact that I was forced to be out of the scene, as far as like the invites, especially the big group stuff, you know, where it's like, oh, every influencer in the town come out to this event. I used to love to go to those because I like to socialize. I'm like, oh, I get to see all my friends in one place, you know, and have fun. And now that I'm not doing that, I don't know. I don't think it's a coincidence that I'm at more peace. You know what I'm saying?
I gotcha.
I don't know.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you that you're back in regular work life?
Right now, a 9.
A 9 out of 10.
Yeah. I just say not a 10 because, you know, there's fucking policies and people that irritate me at work, like every job. But other than that, yeah, no, a 9. We'll see how long that lasts. You know, as I said, I'm an every 2-year person, right? Like, you know, I go from, even like in a relationship, I can have the nice little nerdy, sweet guy that treats me like a princess, and then I'm like bored with that, and then I go to whatever, the thug that's going to be a piece of shit, right? And then I get bored with that, and I crave this nice to again, and I just go back and forth. And I have done that all my life in that pattern. Same thing with work, same thing with hobbies, all of it. It's just I go back and forth. So right now I like the structure. I love my 401k and my medical benefits. All right, and then of course the travel benefits, because I'm back, you know, in the timeshare industry, not selling timeshare, but in that same industry, working under Travel and Leisure brand basically. And I talk with people about travel. So I love all that. Yeah, I just love it. And I'm back. Life really feels like the way it was before. I'm hanging out with my real friends more often, and I'm still doing stuff, but mostly I do it with them. Like when I went to the UFO thing, I took one of my real life friends with me and hung out and did that. So I'm still making content. I'm just posting now. I went from posting twice a day, every day at like 11 and 4, to now I post maybe twice a week. So it is what it is. And I know that's not good for my channel, but I don't give a fuck. Like, that's the thing. I don't care.
That's so much
right
for anyone.
But back then, when you weren't doing shit, and it was like, yeah, all new and fun, that's another example. It was all new and fun. I'm like, let me just make all these videos. And then it starts feeling like work. And you're like, this is garbage.
So you're on the phones a lot. It must be weird if they recognize you.
Yeah, I haven't had that happen, though. No.
Okay.
Because I'm not talking to, like, locals or whatever. They're old people. These are old people that own timeshare, okay? Like 70 years old and up, okay?
They have the Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So they're not going to know who I am.
So how about, what's a funny time someone's recognized you on the strip based on your voice? It's got to have been.
Oh, yeah, that's been a lot. That is so weird, too. It's a lot. It's an elevator thing. I have a lot of elevator moments.
Really?
Because, again, I'm so talky, right? I'm that person that talks to every stranger, right? You're in the line. I'm like, oh, what does that taste like? You know, talking about their groceries and shit at the grocery store. But, yeah, when I'm somewhere, I don't know, if I'm in an elevator. Elevators are weird spots, right? I feel like you have to talk in an elevator. And so I'll be the first person. So I'll just be like.
I feel like you don't have to talk in the elevator.
Oh, God, Phil. No, I would probably make you feel so uncomfortable. So I either, like, if we're coming, like, say, from a show, like a show just let out or something, I'll be like, oh, did you just go to the show? Are you leaving the show? Or, you know, or if they're just look like they're dressed up or something. But like, oh, y'all look so nice. You have just something, some shit, right, to break the ice. So many times, in an elevator, I've talked, and then people are like, they'll look, and you could tell, like, they look.
The light bulb.
Yeah, the light bulb look, and they're like, they say, you're that girl from TikTok. They say, don't ever know my name, whatever. You're that girl from TikTok. And I'm like, yeah, it's like the weirdest thing.
That is interesting with the handle. When they recognize you from TikTok, they only say, but primarily they only say TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of your handle.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Well, yeah, that's the only place I am, so that's the only place they would recognize me.
But
I don't do
like,
anything
if they recognize you from IG, they'll say my handle, but normally it's TikTok. It's
right.
just like you're
at TikTok. Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting.
Right. And I don't do
Nice.
IG at all, so they're not gonna know me. I'm so behind.
To be honest, I think you just gotta get rid of that caption.
If you're like the 50th person that's told me
Gotta
that,
do it, please.
I don't care.
Please.
I don't care. I don't
There's
care
so
what
much
y'all
value
think.
to be had.
I don't care. The thing is, a part of the reason why I didn't want to grow it is because I didn't want any more clients. So I was like, fuck no. Like, I don't want any more exposure anywhere. And then now, I still don't want to because it's just more work. And what's so funny is I was 3 months behind in pushing my videos over, right? I just pushed them from TikTok to Instagram. I was 3 months behind. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to get caught up. And what I do is I just post 3 videos a day when I think about it, because I never think about it and I never go over there. And I'm like, oh, something will trigger me. And I'm like, oh, I have time right now. Let me push 3 videos over there. And I'm like, I'm going to get caught up. I pushed videos, was it yesterday? I want to say it was yesterday. And I realized I'm fucking 6 months behind. Somehow I went from being 3 months behind to what I just posted was January. I'm posting January content, and I felt so bad because one place, what's that pizza place in Aria? Moneyline or some shit?
Moneyline.
So evidently they were doing breakfast, right? And I pushed that to to Instagram. They wrote back, because I tagged them. They wrote back, they're like, yeah, we don't sell breakfast anymore.
Because you didn't post. They went out of business.
Oh, yeah, right. Totally my fault. But no, I felt bad because here I am now advertising this shit late as hell, and they don't even do it. Right. And thankfully, I caught myself on recently that, I don't know how to say this word. What's this word?
Izakaya?
No, it's longer. They had a karaoke thing there. Not a karaoke. It's where we went for the Jump Force.
Han Izakaya.
That shit, yeah. So, sorry.
Which is not a Jump client anymore.
So, look, they're not even open anymore.
Oh, they're not?
No. So, and the only reason I know that is because Brandon tried to go. The doors are locked. He's calling, whatever. He finally got in touch with somebody. They closed.
Shit.
And so, that video was one that I'm supposed to be, that was 6 months ago. And thankfully, I caught myself. I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. Brandon said this place closed. Let me not push this one to Instagram.
Right.
So I got to somehow get caught up. Or I'm just going to quit. Which, honestly, if TikTok gets banned, I'm done. It's over.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't care.
So you just want to be out.
I don't want to be out. I mean, I don't care. That's what I'm saying. If I'm in, I'm in. If I'm out, I'm out. I don't really care. I feel like the universe will dictate what should happen to me. So if it gets banned, the universe is like, Heather, TikTok is not for you.
But if you have all this amazing content just sitting around, I mean, why not let the world see it? Like, to be 6 months behind would be like a gift for me. Then I wouldn't have to worry about what am I going to post today or how many voiceovers I have to do this week.
Yeah, and plus Instagram is just, I don't get it. I don't understand it. It's garbage. I'm not used to it, I don't even know how to search for people on there. I'm like, this is so
searching
whack.
Is tough.
It's the weirdest thing.
It is weird.
Yeah,
TikTok is better with the search. Okay, so we're going to kind of wrap this up with rapid fire questions. I had 10 initially, but I think it's maybe like 15 now.
Oh, shit. Okay. Are you coming up with questions as we were going?
Yeah.
This went so fast. I want to keep talking.
We still got a good 30 minutes or more. I don't know.
Okay.
It depends on the battery life with these guys. But number one, in your opinion, what's the greatest food to come out of Louisiana?
Oh, crawfish.
So boiled crawfish.
No. I mean, I'll eat boiled crawfish, but I just like fried crawfish. Something like a good fish fried, with a gravy on top of it and some rice and some crawfish tails on top of that. Like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's a lot of amazing food. Po'
yeah.
boys, bananas
I love
Foster.
Po' boys. No.
No.
I'm not a sweet person.
Beignets, red beans and rice.
No. I hate beignets.
Muffaladas.
No. I don't like bread. I don't like bread and pastry, really.
Oh.
It's not my thing. I mean, I'll eat it, but I don't crave it. I would never order it and, pay for it type of shit.
And then I read about Yakamien.
What's that?
Yakamien. It's like a cross between Chinese and...
Oh, homie, I told you, I grew up in the hood. I didn't grow up in Chinatown.
No. It was it's like a weird African-American blend of, noodles like a noodle soup.
Oh no,
But
I don't know
I
about
think
that.
I'm pronouncing it wrong because there was like 10 different.
Even so, like the
Louisiana-
description of it.
Yeah.
No, I never really had Chinese food
Okay.
when I lived over there.
Interesting.
Yeah, no.
Does anything in Vegas even come close to the taste of home?
No, fuck no.
Okay. Can you set this record straight to people out there on Vegas seafood boils? Like when they say Louisiana boil, it must drive you
Yeah,
crazy.
no, there is nothing here that's like, and that is not to discredit, because I have some friends that own Louisiana restaurants here, and that's nothing to discredit what they have. It's good, but it's still not the same. I feel like they're not getting the same ingredients. I don't know what it is. It's just got this weird little Louisiana shit to it. You know, I mean, not Louisiana, Vegas shit to it. It's just different. It's all different. I don't know. To my taste buds too, you know.
So when you see someone say Louisiana seafood boil, you're probably wanting to die inside a little.
Yeah, yeah. Are you talking about like those hot and juicy places and shit? Oh, no. I would never eat that. Never. I thought you meant like the ones that are actually owned by people from the South that have businesses here.
Well, that too.
I mean, that is a step up. But yeah, those like hot and juicy and all that stuff, hell no. And I go to them. I go to like Crab and Spice. There's the
of course. Well, yeah.
what's
Cindy
the other
runs
one?
it. There's
Yeah.
Angry Crab Shack.
that one too. Yeah, that's
few of
it.
them.
And it's not like, again, I'll eat it, but it's not the same flavors. They're using a whole different style of seasoning is the problem. So yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to name some celebrities with restaurants in Vegas. I would like you to rate them 1 through 10 on how you feel.
Okay.
Giada.
Oh, I haven't been there.
Okay. So 5. Salt Bay.
Oh God. 3.
Okay. Gordon Ramsay.
Well, I guess if we're gonna go with like Hell's Kitchen, 3.
You didn't like Hell's Kitchen.
I'm not a fan of celebrity restaurants. Let's just put that out there right now.
Right. Well, I know you're going to
Okay.
hate this one then. Martha Stewart.
Yeah, fucking 2. And I went early on that when it first opened. It had potential. Like the flavor of some of the food, other than the fucking steak, but some of this other stuff, it actually tasted good. It's just the whole experience was a train wreck. I mean, flies, fucking the salad came after the dessert, like the fucking stupid presentation. And then, yeah, the steak smelled like a dog, you know. Yeah, it was
Wet
horrible.
dog, that's what you said.
Yeah, it was like the whole experience was bad. And yeah, I just probably went too early. It has potential, but it was pricey. You know, that's my thing. With these celebrity places, you're paying for the name of the celebrity, not for the quality of this food. So that's why I'm not a fan of any of them. Keep going.
Buddy Valastro.
Oh, I haven't been there.
Okay. Emeril Lagasse.
So I haven't been to the one here, but I've been to a lot of Emeril's restaurants. Who knows? I should go check out the one here actually to see if it somehow has some weirdness to it because it's in Vegas. But generally, I like them okay. You know.
So
You're
final
not-
score would.
Oh yeah, well 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I figure he's from your parts.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
you'd
yeah.
Give him a hometown favorite.
No, that's why he's above a 5.
So maybe we should. Yeah, maybe I'd be interested to go to the MGM one with you. I think that's his Louisiana one.
Yes, it is.
Interesting. How do you choose where to go and what to cover? Because you're still getting all the PR emails.
Yeah.
Influencers reach out.
Right. It's hard. So it's a few things. Right now, I just do what I want to do. So a lot of stuff is I just do on my own. It comes about scheduling. I'm not scheduling things way far out. I kind of just play it by ear type of thing. I'm only available on weekends. So I'll just kind of see, I don't know, what's the last restaurant I went to? Like Hamburger Mary's. It was just one of these things. I don't even remember how I stumbled across this. I was just talking to a friend of mine, Billy. We're like, oh, what do we do? I knew he liked drag shows. I'm like, let me just go see what I can find. And my only requirement is I haven't been there before. And that's always my requirement anyway. Even before like TikTok, I always like to try something new. So it's like I just have to go somewhere I haven't been, and I hadn't been there, and then that's how that comes about. Recently, I saw like another one, that Eater fucking thing with all the 25 Asian restaurants that's supposed to be the best Asian restaurants. And have you seen that?
No.
Oh my God. It's the 25 best Asian restaurants, right? I'm going down the list because I'm like, and you know this is all bullshit, right? It's just who paid the most, obviously. Sure. So I'm going down the list. They have P.F. Chang's like at number 6 or some shit. Wow. Like P.F. Chang's, they say, is better than China Mama. Wow. And I love China Mama because I discovered soup dumplings here. You know, I really never knew anything about Asian food until I moved to Vegas. I didn't even know there was like Chinese, Japanese, Vietnamese, Korean, I didn't know there was all that shit.
You lumped
know?
it all together.
Oh yeah. I lumped them all together until I moved here.
I remember the earlier reviews, and this thing, I don't know what's called, but this was delicious.
Right.
Yeah.
yeah. It was so fucking hood. Anyway, but so they say Wing Lei is number one, and I have not been there. So now I'm like, oh, I want to go there just because they say it's number one. I'm like, let me go do a review and see if I agree with that shit, you know?
Right.
So, and I'll pick that, and I just go as a paying customer so that I can just be like, yeah, whatever, you know, this is what it is, type of thing. Other restaurants I'll choose. Yeah, it's just again events I have going on. I have somebody's birthday coming up. We're gonna be hanging out. I have I love Al Solita Posto, and somebody commented on there that La Strega was better, and I've seen other mentions of La Strega in comments before. And I've screenshotted that actually. And so I'm like, oh, maybe we'll go to La Strega because that's in Town Square and it's convenient to the people that I'm inviting to this birthday thing. So that's just kind of how that came up. You know, we'll go there like again as paying customers and check it out. But that's how I chose that one. As far as the invites go, because yes, they flood in. A lot of them, if it's something like really good. Oh, another restaurant I want to go to is that Stanton Prime. And the only reason I want to go to that is because something popped up that I read and they have French onion soup dumplings. I love fucking French onion soup. I love soup dumplings. So it's like I'll see a dish and that gets me. I'm a sucker, you know. I'm easy to sell, okay? You just show me a good picture and I'm like, I'm there. So that's another one that's on my list to go to really soon. But as far as the invites, if it's something good, like a good place, then I'm like, yeah, fuck it. That goes to the top of the list, obviously, right?
Right.
And they can fit it in my Saturday or Sunday requirement, right? That goes to the top. Then if it's the invite comes from somebody I really like, Amir recently invited me to the Guadalajara over at all the way in Boulder, right? Boulder Station. But it's Amir, Shay, Lonnie. I haven't seen them in a while. I just want to hang out with the company. And I do like Mexican. I mean, I like all food, whatever. But I mean, it's not like it's a fancy restaurant that I'm like, I can't miss this place. It's way the fuck out there, you know. So for the tourists, they don't, whatever. But, and I like Station Casino. So for that one, I was like, yes, it goes high on the list.
For sure.
But I get all the ones, and unfortunately, I have a huge stack of these small places that I do want to go to. Like these small food trucks, the business owners are reaching out to me directly. Some of them blow me up nonstop, you know, especially since Keith Lee, right? They're all looking for the Keith Lee savior to come in, and he's busy and not replying. So, of course, they're going to go down because I'm sure they're reaching out to other people, too. It's not just me. And I want to do it, you know, and there was a time, that's when all the stuff, I said I'm such a yes person. I was adding all this shit and doing it all. I'd go to 3 places in a day, you know, I had leftovers for days. But now I have to be more mindful with my time. And so I tell them I'll get there when I can. And it just keeps getting pushed and pushed. And I do intend to go there. And I feel bad, like I want to go. So it's just, that's how that goes.
Yeah, Keith has really propelled a lot of business for all the influencers, and more opportunities for sure. But yes, especially if they're DMing on IG or the email, you know, it just keeps going down.
Right.
And then you just kind of lose it.
Right. And the PR agencies and marketing, that's actually going down. I think they got tired of me saying no because I was, again, such a yes person. I would go to any little stupid thing no matter what it was. And again, I don't get paid for shit. So I'm like their fucking dream person, right? They're like, this chick comes in and has a decent amount of followers and she does it for free. Yep. So, you know, that was going sweet for a while, but now I'm having to say no. I can't just do all the little weird random things, or it just legit doesn't match with my time, you know, and I'm like, I can't make it at that time. And so I think I've told a few of these no so many times that I'm kind of drifting off the list. I might not be off the list of like the whole agency, but you know how there's certain people that are in charge of, I guess, I don't know how the fuck it works, different accounts or whatever. Right. So I noticed some certain names quit hitting me up that used to hit me up. Let's just say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Someone has an iPhone 14 right here, the latest one, all the best bells and whistles. How much cash has to be in the briefcase for you to switch over right now for 1 year?
I don't know. Hell, I'd do it for like, I don't know. Say a number. $2,000.
$2,000 you switch for the year.
Yeah. Oh. But then if you're like, what about $1,500? I'd probably be like, yeah. Well, because I'm not like, that's another thing. I just don't give a fuck. You know, okay. I think people put too much effort into this emphasis on these phones. Like, I don't give a fuck, you know? It would be weird because I'd have to learn this shit, but I really don't use my phone that much. I'm not really.
I find that hard to believe.
Yeah,
You
I'm
don't
not
use
really,
the phone that much. What do you mean?
like I'm not. I guess I'm not a phone
Scrolling?
person.
You're
Yeah,
not a scroller.
I'm not. I scroll like on TikTok here and there when I if I go to bed and I want to see my funny little videos, but I'm just not a phone person. I'm not a phone person, so that's why like the phones really don't matter. It's just I've always had Androids. It's what I'm used to. So when I switch, it's just what I'm used to. But if somebody paid me to go to an iPhone, I would. It would just be an experience.
Okay.
Yeah. And then at the end, it would probably be good because then at the end, then I'd really be able to be like, oh, now I see what everybody's talking about. Or, you know what I'm saying? I could be like really judging which one's better, basically,
Right.
if I had to try another one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. Your EDC Maverick helicopter video was awesome and went off. How was your experience at EDC this
Oh my God, it was so much better this year than last year. Because last year I
said you
wasn't
almost
prepared.
died.
Yeah, well, I almost died. It was my first time last year. This year, because I knew what to expect, I was so much more prepared. And yeah, it was awesome. And the helicopter ride, I did it backwards. So like I had the ride all by myself on the way back to the headquarters and then came back later. So I got the perspective of the daytime versus nighttime, which I loved. And yeah, that video surprisingly just did well. It was a simple little, you know.
I thought it was cool to do it
Yeah.
in reverse and drive up there, leave the car there, and then come back.
Yeah,
and do all that.
and that's because I had those, you know, my friends from California.
Yeah.
That's why that worked out that way.
Being in Timeshare, you must have seen all of the Timeshare shows multiple times.
What do you mean? Like the ones that give us gifts?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So what is, in your opinion, the best Timeshare show of all time?
Oh, fuck. I don't remember which ones now are affiliated with the timeshares.
Okay, so for me, it was
Yeah.
definitely the V show.
Oh,
I
fuck.
made all my fucking money
on the V?
on the V show. Like historically,
Yeah,
at
yeah.
least 70% of my entire Timeshare income.
Right.
Like we'd be on the strip, and they're like, "Oh, we're looking for Cirque du Soleil," and then my hick OPC coworker would be like, "This has Cirque du Soleil," and it would be the V show.
Oh, shit. Yeah, see, and I don't really know what the offers are. Like, I know, like, I didn't work on that side as far as the marketing, so I don't know what gifts they were getting as far as when I've done it. One time I came out here and I did a tour with the Timeshare, and I remember it was Zumanity was that show, which was a Cirque du Soleil show.
Great show.
Yeah. Well, it was all right.
I liked it better than Mad Apple.
Did you?
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't.
No?
No, I like Mad Apple
Interesting.
better. Well, that's because they just make it seem like it's so sexy and erotic and naughty and, you know, like it's so bad. But mind you, when this is a whole different can of worms, but when I was in Florida, I owned a business that was in the sex industry, basically.
We had talked
So
about this.
I saw a lot of shit. So when I came here, to me, it's all they do is show titties. And I'm like, what the fuck? That's it? They just show some titties? This is Vegas. Like, this is supposed to be wild and crazy, you know, Zumanity. Like, my expectations were on another level. That's why I didn't like the show.
You thought a donkey was going to be involved.
Yes, I wanted a donkey or some shit. Yes, Jesus Christ. Oh, my God. Yeah.
But we had talked about when you were hosting things,
Yeah.
and that was wild.
Yeah.
That could be a whole different
and that,
episode.
Yeah, and that's not something like I'm ashamed of. Like
No,
everybody in
no.
my life knows, you know, that I'm lifestyle friendly, and so yeah, it was a lifestyle business in which we hosted events all over the southeast area of the states in Florida. It's a lot of swingers in Florida. Yeah.
It's well known that you don't really give a shit about sushi. I want to know how
Cream
much.
cheese.
I want to know how
Me and
much.
Phil go on about that all the time. I'm sorry, I keep
Yeah.
interrupting.
How much
you.
would it cost? How much would you need to get paid to eat a 10-piece nigiri set of tuna and salmon?
That's that raw shit, right? Nigiri set.
How
means-
much would it cost to eat the raw shit?
is that with the rice under it or
Yeah.
without the rice under
Nigiri
it?
is a sliver of fish with the rice on the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, my stomach can't hold 10 pieces of that rice right now, but so I don't know, Phil. I would do. I'm cheap. I would do it for $50.
All right. See, Amir would pay this and just make a video.
Right.
Yeah. I love the hotel room tours that you do, as it gives people a great inside look on the places they can only dream of staying or never stay. Which room would you go back to for a long weekend?
Oh man. I don't know. If it was free,
Yeah.
I like the room at Bellagio. I thought that was really nice. Oh, and Cosmo with their Cosmo. Fuck Bellagio. Sorry, Cosmo. Their balconies and their bathtubs. I'm a bathtub girl. I know that's another thing that people go on and on about. I seek out bathtubs in hotels. I don't care about the germs and the shit. I want the little jets and all that. Give it all to me.
Sure.
If I come back with cootie, so be it.
We have an immune system for a reason.
Right. This is why I never got COVID, because of shit like that. I've been in fucking hotel bathtubs all my life. Yeah, so that would be the one. But I'm really not a hotel person either. When I travel, it's all about location. I want the cheapest hotel in the best location. All I'm going to do is when I get there, pass out and go to sleep and use the bathtub first.
What's the worst hotel room you've seen in Vegas?
The worst hotel room I've seen in Vegas so far? Probably that shit. What the hell was the name of it? It's over there on, what's that? Paradise? What is the name of that hotel? I don't know.
On Paradise, the Seagull one?
No, it's not a Seagull Suites. It's
Carriage House?
Mardi Gras.
Oh, yeah.
The Mardi Gras. Yeah, that shit was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, the elevator. Just going up the elevator, I knew it was going to be bad. It was sketchy as hell. But again, it was cheap, and I only saw it because a friend of mine was staying there. Like, a lot of the hotels I showed, I didn't technically stay there.
Right.
I remember when I even first started, like, when I was this is crazy as fuck, okay? When I was at New York, I didn't know what I was doing, okay? I didn't know what I was doing. When I was at New York, I was like, oh, I want to show the hotels rooms. I literally stood around and just stalked out people checking in, strangers checking in, right? And then there was this young couple, right? I knew they were like, they would want some money. They checked in, they start walking to the fucking elevator. And I was like, hey, I got a question for you. And I was like, if I gave you $20, would you let me come up with y'all to record the room? And they're like, what? But they were cool. Like, I could tell, like, I could scout my people, right? I knew the people that were going to be down for $20, right? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, literally. And I would pull up my thing, and show them, like, this is me. Like, I just want to show this room. And they're like, yeah. And yeah, I would go up there, and then they would check in, and I'd go in and take 5 minutes to film, give them their $20, and then leave. It was very strange times. Yeah.
Really strange.
Yeah.
But I think being in timeshare probably helps with that.
Right.
You can break the ice super quickly.
Yeah.
That's really
fun. Being a people person and being in sales, it's whatever. I can get anything. My persuasion is pretty good.
I bet. You've been to all the tourist sites way more than anyone. Which one do you still enjoy?
Tourist sites, as in, what do you mean?
Like, you've driven to Hoover Dam a million times.
Both. Hoover Dam. Like, people come here. I always recommend Hoover Dam. The first time seeing it, it blows your mind. Red Rock Canyon, it's awesome. Grand Canyon, the West Rim, no, absolutely not. Like, unless you're coming from overseas and this is going to be your only chance to see the Grand Canyon, you're limited on days, go to the West Rim. Aside from that, you need to go to the South Rim for the real deal, like what you see in pictures type of thing.
Total tourist trap.
Right. So, that would be it as far as going off the strip, outskirts thing. And then, like, Fremont, I always recommend people, you got to get the Fremont experience.
I know you love pork belly. We're basically both pork belly enthusiasts.
Yes.
What is the best pork belly you've had recently?
Recently?
Or ever? Favorite?
So my first favorite was at, I like the one at 8 East in Circa, which also they have some badass rooms too. They have really cool rooms. Yeah. That one, and that's kind of like, it's like a fried type of style. And then the one I had at Pier 215 was really good.
I've had that.
Yeah, I would took me off guard. I was like, holy smokes, this is really good. Those two stick out. And then at Waro, that's where I first discovered it, really, was at Waro. And there, I never had the all-you-can-eat K-barbecue until I came here. And they have one that's wine, like, soaked in wine or some shit, red wine.
Red wine marinated.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and that, it's top-notch, too. Mm-hmm.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
I need some pork belly in my life.
I know. I need to go over to the Bodegas and get the new thing over there. Wild. Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, since he posted, he's been back 3 times.
Oh, shit.
And I stopped by on Saturday. One day, on a Saturday, average day is 80 covers is a good day. They had like 160 already.
Oh, wow.
PM.
Okay.
And it's been unbelievable. Yeah. But yes. We'll figure out some time.
Okay.
Maybe right at 9 a.m. Well, I don't know.
It has to be a weekend.
It has to be a weekend.
Yeah.
All right, we'll figure it out. I love the travel content you've done, specifically in Hawaii.
Oh, yeah.
I know you took some heat a while back when you were posting in Maui.
Oh, yeah.
What happened there?
So I was not prepared. I didn't do my research. So I go over there and doing my usual, like, let me show people what to do in Hawaii. And immediately locals came, and they were like, no, don't come, this and that. And I didn't know. And I'm a pretty good, responsible tourist person in general. Like, I follow rules. The fucking tree says don't climb on the tree. I'm not climbing on the tree. If there's signs that say this is sacred grounds, don't walk over here. I'm not that person, right? So I do all that anyway. But when they started telling me stuff, that's when I Googled. It wasn't until I was back home from the trip and then getting this information that I then went and did my research. And I was like, oh, holy fuck. I didn't know, like, all this was going on. And then I talked to other, because, this is the 9th island. So I happen to have a lot of friends here that actually are from Hawaii. So I'm the type, I reach out to them and be like, hey, what's your thoughts on this? So I ended up doing so much investigation that I got it from both sides. And I've always been the type person where I see both sides of every situation. And so I'm like, okay. And it didn't discourage me from, like, going back, because I went again this year and I made more videos. But I'm like, I got to be more mindful of it. And then just, no, you're not going to please everybody, and it's whatever. It is. The thing is, it's never going to stop. It's not like I single-handedly am going to be able to stop tourism from Hawaii, right? So it's like, it's never going to stop. So it's just, how do we, I don't know.
Well,
I don't have the best answer for that. They brought up the
engagement. But, yeah, it was so interesting that a Vegas content creator had so many of them go off in Maui and hit the local.
Yeah, they eventually disappeared, though. So ironically, because there are people that know me and they know my intent, they came to my defense on that. And I'm talking about, and then, like, again, true Hawaiians came to my defense on that. And it ended up getting so ugly that the people that originally came for me, they disappeared. They deleted all their comments and just disappeared from it. So it died down. And then this last time when I went, I didn't have any problems.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looked like a great time, and you hit up a lot of great places.
Oh, I love it. That's what I really want to do, is just travel and make videos. That's the dream, right? Just
agreed.
Traveling and making videos.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. And finally, you are the queen of audio messages.
Oh, fuck, yeah.
No one else replies like Heather does. I feel like a bunch of us could compile your greatest messages and make an audiobook. You reply to everyone like this, right?
Everyone. Everyone, yeah. If you go through, yeah. And I'll even show people, like, when I'm on, if I meet a new person, like I'm on the dating scene, unfortunately, I'll meet a new person and I'll go straight to sending audios, and they don't like it. And I'll send them screenshots of the conversations I have with other people that are just long audios. And I'm like, sorry, like, this is my only way of communicating. Here's proof that I do this with everybody, So then they realize, like, it is what it is. Yeah. I don't have the patience to type. I told you I'm not a phone person.
I know.
So to me, I want to talk. No, it doesn't know what I'm saying. I'm too ghetto for all that. Yeah.
Okay.
So no talk to text.
All right.
I don't even like to read text. Like, I like my messages back in audio too. I'll read a text, but I prefer audio messages back.
I reply in audio.
I do.
Back to you.
Yeah. Because then it's more real. It's like we're having a conversation. It's more personal.
Then I'd rather just call you.
No. So that's the funny thing. Other people have said that too. They're like, well, why don't we just call each other? No. The beauty about audio is it's personal. You're having a conversation. It's more real, but you're not locked in. You're not trapped. So if you need to do something, like, I'm multitasking. Again, I'm not a phone person. I don't want to be trapped on a phone call, but I'm doing other shit, whether I'm cleaning or watching TV or just whatever. It doesn't matter. Then I can do that and then answer you, a minute or 2 minutes later, or even 30 minutes later. And we just keep the conversation. I have friends where we're talking all day long, at different spurts of the day. Yeah, it's the best. Everybody needs to get on board with audio communication.
It's only when there's like 5 bars of Heather at 1 minute each that I'm like...
5 minutes? Yeah, sorry. I try to keep
I'll try
it short.
Next time.
I'm long-winded. I like to talk.
All right. I'm not faulting you. I still want the messages. Anyways, Heather, thanks for being here.
Yay, thank you for having me.
Really appreciate it. This was super fun. Till next week. See you guys.
Yay.
Thanks for tuning in to the Las Vegasville podcast. For more information about me and where I've been dining recently, check out my IG and TikTok at Las Vegas Phil. Feel free to text or leave me a voicemail about anything you want, 702-551-4445. Stay tuned as a new episode of the show debuts every Monday morning.